right, don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. Promo code Goodfellow1Boxing. Get you 18% off the 100% all natural products. Website, promo code, description. Thanks. All right, man, we back. Goodfellow Sports TV. Appreciate everybody for checking in. One time for the one time. Y'all know what the business is, man. And shit out here walking miles and shit. Or letting them run around. But yeah, Jack Reiss was named the referee for Errol Spence, Sean Porter. I don't know how many people remember, about 2 months ago, I was told that Jack Reiss was going to ref the Errol Spence and Sean Porter fight. It was a good chance. And that's what happened. So I told you guys that first. And, you know, that is what it is. So your Dennis Ugas has some complaints about Jack Reiss. Everybody has complaints about Jack Reiss, especially with the Deontay Wilder. And Ugas brought it up. He said he gave Fury a 15 count. And he didn't count the knockdown in the fight with him and Sean Porter. And everybody want to cry over spilled milk. At the end of the day, I have no problem with his Deontay Wilder count. I said it before and I say it again. I've seen worse. The count is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's not a count. The count is at the discretion of a referee. If he want to go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, 4 Delaware, Mississippi, New York, he can do that. It's at the discretion. A lot of people really, they talk about boxing, but they don't even want to educate themselves on the finer points. I stay learning from people that know more than me. You know, Lawrence Williams, Curtis Anderson. I mean, like I said, man, me and Town, we be talking. I learned a lot from Town. Shout out to him. You know, I learned a lot. I never said I knew the most. I'm not the biggest historian. I don't know the most, but I stay educating myself. I'm never bigger than nobody else when it comes to knowledge. You know, sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes I get it right. So I never come on here and say my word is biblical. But yeah, you got a point. Anytime, you know, somebody took a point away from you and the fight could have went the other way, you know, it is what it is. You know, and at the end of the day, he could have been champion. But then again, for Errol Spence, that may not have been the greatest thing that could happen for him. You know, the greatest thing that could happen, that would have been the worst thing if Ugas would have won. Then Sean Porter, you know, Ugas and Errol Spence, there's no way it'd be on pay-per-view. There's no way it would have been at the Staples Center. You know, that fight would have been in Texas or it'd have been in New York City. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Let me locate my dog real quick. Oh, there you go. So it's at the end of the day, you know, you just can't blame one thing in sport. And a lot of us, we know, whether it be football, basketball, soccer, you know, we point to a pivotal moment in the game and be like, oh man, if the referee would have got that call right, if he would have got that holding call, or he would have called that foul, we would have won the game. But at the end of the day, when you look at basketball, you got 4 quarters, sometimes 5 or 6 quarters if you go into overtime. You look at boxing, sometimes you got 6 rounds, sometimes it's a 4-rounder, but on this level it's 10 to 12 rounds. You got 10 to 12 rounds, you know what I'm saying, to get the job done. You don't have nobody but to blame for yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you knock him down, why didn't you do it again? You know? So everybody want to complain about one moment. At the end of the day, you know, the Wilder situation, it was what it was. Like I said before, I have no problem. The count is not on a stopwatch. If Wilder went to his corner, then maybe it would have been waved off. He the one that want to celebrate and do all that bullshit. Now, can I see a fact that Jack Reiss should have waved it off after like maybe a 6 or 8 count? Yeah, hell yeah. Would I would have been mad if Jack, nobody in this world, except, I don't even think AJ protectors or Deontay Wilder's biggest haters, nobody would have complained. Nobody would have complained if Jack Reiss would have stopped that fight. Nobody. If he would have said 1, 2, 3, 4 and waved that bitch off, Tyson Fury looked like a dead man. But then again, Deontay Wilder had 12 rounds to replicate what he done. He should have done it a lot sooner. So I don't have a problem with it, man. I'm not just sitting here. I seen a lot worse. I seen Lucian Bute get a fucking 30-second count, man. You know what I'm saying? I seen a lot worse corruption in boxing, and that's because I've been watching boxing since the 90s. You know, I'm a serious fan of boxing. It's a lot of boxing that I watch that I don't speak on. When you talk about Tanakas, the Estradas of the world, the Sora Rievensteins, or all of them, dude, and Nuyuai and Tite and Ryan Burnett, and I was a huge fan of Nonito Donaire. You know, just how he conducted himself inside the ring. Because I don't know him personally, but he was the only guy that gave Rickendall a chance to fight. People forget that. Nonito Donaire is one of the few throwback fighters around. Him, Kovalev, you know what I'm saying? Guys like that went out their way and took on the best challenges. This nigga fought everybody. Don Chinian. I mean, he had fought Rickendall, then he had a couple tune-ups, and then he moved up and fought Nicholas Walters, man. Who doing that? That's when he was the Axeman, not the cold Nicholas Walters. You know, when they set him out for a year and Lomachenko got the level. He fought Nicholas Walters when he didn't have to. You know, and I got a lot of respect for him. But, you know, to talk a little bit more about Jack Reiss, they could have disputed Jack Reiss being a referee. Errol Spence, his fingerprints are all over this fight. This fight was supposed to be August 3rd. Then it was supposed to be the last Sunday, the last footballless Sunday of the year. All right. You know, and they was going to use the NFL to promote the fight and all of that. You know, he moved the fight from the Barclays Center to LA. He did that. That was his fingerprints all on that. He chose to make it pay-per-view. So if Errol Spence had a problem with Jack Reiss, Errol Spence could have changed it. Errol Spence could dispute and say, no, California, we want another referee. Or, hey, look, we doing this at the Staples Center. We don't want him. Now, can Sean Porter do so? No. Sean Porter could have disputed it, but Sean Porter don't have enough pull. Sean Porter is not getting treated like a champion. I don't know financially how he getting compensated, but it must be good enough for him and Kenny to take the fight. But he's not getting treated like a champion. Not by these fans out here. Not by the media. Sean Porter, and at the end of the day, people say he a fake champion. But Sean Porter's resume indicates that he's fair competition. He's the best fighter Errol Spence fought by light years. People say, well, you know, Kell Brook beat Sean Porter. Stop fooling yourself. All right? Kell Brook was not the same Kell Brook that he was for Sean Porter when he fought Errol Spence. That's not the same guy. Guy went up to 160, came down to 47 without a tune-up or nothing. You tell me somebody out here that's taking L's and jumping right back into big fights. Who? Besides, who? I'm not talking about immediate rematches. Who taking L's and then they jumping back into that type those type of fights? Nobody. That's the biggest risk Kell Brook ever took in his career, and I salute him for him. That's retro. That's a retro throwback. That's how you conduct yourself. You know, he didn't want to give up his title. If Errol Spence fights Sean Porter, if Errol Spence loses to Sean Porter here, you feel me? If he loses to Sean Porter, is he going to turn around and Terrence Crawford say, I still fight? He going to take the Crawford fight? Fuck no. You might not see Errol Spence until next July or next December or some shit. Like, he going to go on hiding like Danny Garcia, or he going to take a tune-up or two. Ain't too many fighters going out there taking the L and then coming back without a tune-up, let alone moving down in weight. So kill that. Kill that. And it was a good win for Errol Spence. He showed a lot in that win, but also he showed that he's human. What happened when Rocky cut Ivan Drago? He's cut. He's a human. He's not a machine. He's not a machine. He's human. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, they treating him like Ivan Drago, like Kell Brook wasn't beating that ass in the first half of that fight. He was. It was competitive, but he wasn't blowing them out. Sean Porter ain't getting treated like a champion. He not getting treated like if you don't want to respect him as a champion because of Ugas or you thought Danny won, salute. But hey, respect him because his resume is 1,000 times better than Errol Spence's resume. And people say, well, people didn't want to fight Errol Spence. Keep that same energy for Triple G then. Because when Triple G apologized saying, oh, Martinez didn't want to fight him, you know, Chavez, you know, didn't want to fight him, or, or Canelo waited to fight him, or Peter Quillen didn't want to fight him, and he was lowballing some people. And and my stake was, hey, you don't get no cool points, or you don't get no clout points for being ducked. Okay? Everybody telling me that Bud have to come over to the other side of the street. Who is fucking Errol Spence fought on his side of the street? He only getting Sean Porter because he had no other chance. And that's just keep it a buck. Alright? But if they had a problem with Jack Reiss, Errol Spence could have overridden it. They could have disputed it. Both sides could have disputed and got another referee. So at the end of the day, Ugas want to cry and complain. Deontay can cry and complain. All these other fighters can cry and complain. This has been no fucking mystery. I knew this for like 2 months now, that Jack Reiss would be the fucking referee. So if Sean Porter had a problem with that, he could have overruled. He could have filed a dispute. If Errol Spence had a problem with it, he could have filed a dispute. No excuses come Saturday. None. None. It's none. So don't even start that shit. Sean Porter fans, Errol Spence fans, don't start it. But Sean Porter ain't getting his respect as a good, solid fighter. Errol Spence getting all this respect off the eye test. And people say the eye test, the Dallas Cowboys, the eye test. Who have they played? The Giants, the Skins, and the Dolphins. That's like Errol Spence. Who the fuck has he fought? Let's keep it real, though. When has Errol Spence ever been an underdog? Not never. People talk about Terrence Crawford, right? This nigga over here coughing up the shit. People talk about Terrence Crawford, right? He was the underdog versus Gamboa. That's the same Gamboa Mikey Garcia refused to fight. He rather sat out and went to court for a year or whatever it was than fight Gamboa. People saying Gamboa in hindsight now. But at the time, Gamboa was a bad motherfucker. Victor Postal. A lot of people on HBO picked Victor Postal. Believe it or not, a lot of people was favoring Victor Postal. That was a 50-50 fight. And then they discredited Bud after he watched Victor Postal. He didn't even drop a round. Victor Postal was the #1 140-pounder after he stopped Matisse. Danny Garcia didn't stop Matisse. Ruslan Provodnikov didn't stop Matisse. Roberto Ortiz didn't stop Lucas Matisse. So at the end of the day, those are two formidable fights. Wasn't nobody eye broke. Didn't nobody move down 13 pounds. No. It wasn't no Chris Algieri lost to Pacquiao and Amir Khan. Wasn't no Keith Thurman beat Leonard Bundu. It wasn't no lightweight or junior welterweight Mikey moving up to 147. No. Felix Diaz. He had beat Lamont Peterson. And they robbed him. You know what I'm saying? Way before Lamont Peterson fought Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford abused him. And people, only casuals say, who was Terrence Crawford for? They look in hindsight, not what Victor Postal is. Now what Gamboa is. But they never look in hindsight and say, oh, look what Kell Brook is now. You know what I'm saying? They never do that shit, man. You know? But then again, you got to stop just talking boxing with casuals and dumbasses. And that's why I'm just refraining from it. If I do, I troll a little bit on social media with somebody. I go back and forth for fun every now and again when I got the time. But at the end of the day, I'm not going back and forth with these niggas, man. At the end of the day, people say, oh, it's Bud fighting. You know, at the end of the day, cool. If you happy and you want to make fun of boxing and you want to pay $80 for Sean Porter and Errol Spence when you could have get Terrence Crawford next, you could have had Terrence Crawford now, and you want to sit there and see, boxing fans is whack these days. These new fans that came in like 2010, these 2012 baby fans, they whack. All right? A lot of dudes don't want to soak up knowledge. They don't want to get educated. You got niggas with platforms that don't educate. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes with platforms that just beg for money, and at the end of the day, you giving money and you not getting no nutrition. How you going to buy groceries and you ain't getting no nutrition? You're not getting no calories, you're not getting no protein, you're not getting no fibers, you're not getting no vitamin C, B, none of that. No vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? It's just dumbing the sport down. Niggas talking A side, B side. Nigga, before this shit then started, we never talked about that. Me and my homies, man, we you know, just on the internet dudes that I used to link up with, we ain't never talk about no money. We was arguing about 5-7 years ago who will win, the Charlo twins or Boo Boo. That's the type of shit we talking about. It ain't talking about, well, Sean Porter ain't never won a close. Sean Porter, all the fights Sean Porter been close. What about Devin Alexander? He wrecked them. What about Paulo Malignaggi? That wasn't close. And Danny Garcia was struggling with Paulo Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? But hey, y'all know what it is. Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate the love, support. Hit subscribe button, bell icon button. We gone.